are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price.
Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. So listen responsibly.
It's the best of the best. It's the one and only DJ Ice, Louisville's coldest DJ.
Often that's what it says. What we have here is a failure to communicate. Good evening. I'm Carl Price. This is Conscious Fever here on ICE Entertainment Television and Conscious Fever Radio. Tonight we are talking about, well, let me just tell you. First, my co-host tonight is, of course, the great Paul Mullins, attorney extraordinaire. See, it says co-host Paul. Host Carl. So that means he is somewhere here with me. Anyway, tonight, this is Conscious Fever here on Ice Entertainment Television. This is Halloween. Happy Halloween to everybody. The costume you're wearing now looks good. Paul's got a costume on tonight also. He's playing a lawyer. He's dressed up as a lawyer tonight. But in any case, tonight we have an interesting show. We are on the eve of the election. Time is up. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And as we do that, of course, we've got a little, a Harris commercial to show. Anyway, I'm Carl Price. This is Conscious Fever. Because we came on just a few minutes late, we're going to jump right into this. When we come back, Paul's going to join me, and when we come back, Paul's going to join me, and we're going to talk about this stuff. You see, you got comments already. You're going to say good evening to Stephanie. Good evening, Stephanie. And good evening, Deacon Kenny Stevenson. Happy birthday to you, my friend. I don't know how old you are, but I'm going to tell you, you look 21. Whatever your age is between you and God, but you look 21. Anyway, this is Conscious Fever. I'm Carl Price on Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. We will be right back to get this show started.
And we are back with more Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price Esquire.
Uh-oh.
2016, Donald Trump said he would choose only the best people to work in his White House. Now those people have a warning for America. Trump is not fit to be president again. Here's his vice president.
Anyone who puts themselves over the Constitution should never be president of the United States. It should come as no surprise that I will not be endorsing Donald Trump this year.
His defense secretary.
Do you think Trump can be trusted with the nation's secrets ever again?
No. I mean, it's just irresponsible action that places our service members at risk, places our nation's security at risk.
His national security advisor.
Donald Trump will cause a lot of damage. The only thing he cares about is Donald Trump.
And the nation's highest ranking military officer.
We don't take an oath to a king or a queen or to a tyrant or a dictator. And we don't take an oath to a wannabe dictator.
Take it from the people who knew him best. Donald Trump is a danger to our troops and our democracy. We can't let him lead our country again.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Hey, welcome back to the show. I'm Carl Price here on Conscious Fever, Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. That last promo we ran, Paul said I was like Donald Trump promoting myself. I want y'all to get on him tonight for saying that, comparing me to the Orange Man, which I am not. But in any case, so tonight we're on the eve of the election. We're going to talk about the election. We're going to talk, Paul, we're going to talk Kentucky politics tonight, y'all. We're going to talk about Amendment number 2. There's always some amendment that is on. Join me in welcoming co-host Paul Mullins.
Hey,
here
Carl.
on the show tonight. Hey, so there's always an amendment with this voting stuff.
Yeah.
That we get.
And nobody
that we get
ever,
stuck with, right?
even I as a lawyer, you read it for 5 minutes before you figure out, what's it actually saying. It's an attempt to bring out voters who are I'm not gonna say anti-immigrant, but we'll get into what the substance of the question is, but you'll find out later that it's really a needless amendment, in my opinion.
Really?
It's needless.
Good evening, Stephanie. Thanks for wishing us a good evening.
Hey, Renee, Stephanie, Monique.
And again, I'm going to go back to this comment. Deacon Kenneth Stevenson, congratulations on being extending your lease of life one more year. And of course, Monique. Good evening, Conscious Fever family from the CF Welcoming Committee.
Evenings.
Yeah, good at that, yes. Right? Hey, Renee, how are you? Wait a minute. Renee. Okay, now hold on, Renee. Okay, Paul, I got to digress a second.
Okay.
So, at my church was a young lady named Renee. And, Renee, were you at my church this weekend? Okay, she's going to have to answer that because I want to know, because I'm going to share something with you, Paul. I showed up at church, and there was a young lady by the name of Renee. And
where's this going?
I'm just saying, I just want to make sure.
Well, don't you think she would have introduced herself?
Look at that. How pretty, Paul.
Hey.
And cool, Carl. Thank you.
Thank
for
you.
making me cool. Yep, thanks for welcoming the deacon. She says, hi, Paul. Okay, there you go, Paul. Hi, Carl. Okay, here's the, yes, baby. She said, yes. Okay, so that was you. So why did you look at me as if I should have known you? All I see is your profile picture here. Now I know who you are. She's pretty, too.
What are you waiting on?
No, I'm just going to say, she's pretty. And she said she was from Florida. Are you from Florida, Renee? She said, yes, that was me. Yes, honey. Okay, I get it. You know what? I had no clue. This is how backwards I am, right? I had no clue. Anyway, thank you for joining. Thank you for coming to the church. And I am so sorry that I didn't recognize. I don't recognize anybody, Renee. I'm sorry. There you go, Paul. I like that yellow tie, my favorite color. Thank you. Yeah, I like this, y'all. I'm getting all the attention tonight, not Paul. Okay.
It's your show.
There you go. She said, yes, baby, I am from Florida. Okay, I know who
she
you
just
are
moved
now.
here. Yeah.
You just looked at me like, and I was just like, okay, why am I supposed to know her? I know now. Now I'm putting two and two together. That's why I don't do jigsaw puzzles. It's fine. You mean, oh, fine. Okay, we got you. Okay. And no worries. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Now I know who you are. It is going to be a worry because I didn't really like that encounter. I was just like, wow, I know you're not. But you got to understand profile pictures. Now, I would be honest with you. You look like your profile picture, but the profile pictures on the screen that we have here is very small, right, Paul?
I can barely see it, yeah.
Yeah, you can barely see it. Well, Paul is
kind of what?
Kind of blind.
Well, okay.
Paul is still glowing and handsome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Monique. Maybe I'll meet her at church somewhere.
Huh?
Thanks, Renee.
Anyway, we don't get to talk about the show because y'all know what Paul says. I'm going to tell y'all what Paul says. Paul says, they're going to hog the show, so we got to talk about this. So we have to talk.
Paul says they're going to hog the show. I didn't say it like that. But.
Well, you didn't say it like that, but just what you said.
Listen, I want y'all to know. Y'all got to see these ballots.
We appreciate it. But listen, we're going to talk about, Paul, we're going to talk tonight about the ballots. And I really want to talk about Amendment 2. Were you able to pull an Amendment 2?
Yeah, I got
it. So we really talk about Amendment 2. So anyway.
Y'all need to understand this.
November 5th is Election Day here in Kentucky. Okay? And all over the nation. It's November the 5th. And it's November the 5th all over the nation is Election Day simply because we have to, because there's a presidential election. And, of course, y'all know who's running. I mean, it's one person against another person. One person I prefer over the other person.
You can't say the names?
I can lie. Yeah, of course I can say the name. I think everybody knows I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris. I'm going to announce that
Yes,
tonight.
I don't think
It's
it's
probably
secret.
no surprise.
So it's no secret, but honestly, I'd like to show people the ballot because I have a 18-year-old son who's going to be participating in voting for the first time. And me and Carl were talking, and I said, I haven't seen the ballot. And for somebody who hasn't even seen a ballot before in their lives, it can be extra challenging when you get these paragraphs for one question, yes or no. So people should at least go out, look at your sample ballot, see who you know who's on the top of the ticket, but see who's on the ticket to who to vote for. But more importantly, they have these questions at the end of the ballot, and these questions can really change change the Constitution of Kentucky for starters. And so people need to at least understand what they're voting
I'm going to
for.
stop you a second. You see that, what Renee said? We were just talking about that before the show.
Yeah.
So she has to be a resident here for 60 days?
Right. That's part of this bill. So how long have you lived in Kentucky, Renee? Like, you're not going to be able to vote if you're not registered, or you haven't done anything to register. So she'll get back with us. I know it takes a little time because it's lagging, but you have to register to vote. I thought it was 28 days before the election, but it looks like we read somewhere that it's going to be 60. I should know that answer, but I didn't look it up because I've been registered to vote for so long. I don't even remember how many days you had to take to register. But you can't. I used to be under the mistaken belief that you could register the same day because I thought that's what my wife did 30 years ago. But apparently they simply lost her voter registration precinct and she was allowed to vote in a different precinct. Now that I'm older and I've learned what they do is they call those provisional ballots, and her vote might not have even been counted. So it's really more secure than we think.
So I want to talk about, as Monique talks about mail-in ballots. Did you do a mail-in ballot, Monique? I want to talk, before we get to really talking about Amendment 2, I want to just say this, because we've never had the opportunity to talk about all this jargon that we hear about black male voters, right? Mm-hmm. And those supporting Trump and those supporting Kamala Harris and those who have issues with Kamala Harris. I'm going to say this just for the record. I am pro-woman, and I do not align myself with men who don't believe that women can lead. Especially since women,
I know where you're going with this.
No, especially since women have led men all of their lives,
throughout history,
and throughout history. You know, had it not been for Harriet Tubman, a lot of these Negroes who saying that they don't want a woman president,
wouldn't be free.
Wouldn't be free. They'll still be in the trenches somewhere, tied to a tree or something. So I don't get it, and it's not really my play. I don't get it. I'm just gonna say I don't.
We talk about it. There's an element of men out there who just won't vote for a woman because they're women, and they'll come up with all kinds of other reasons. The worst ones are, I don't like the way she laughs. You know, how ridiculous is that? You've heard them say that. They have a nickname, Kamala, on MAGA side. It's Cackling Kamala, and it's just like, that's just a way to put somebody down because they're a woman, and you don't have anything else to say about them to not vote for them. But there's a lot of stuff out there where people are extremely derogatory simply because she's a woman.
Voting has been challenged for decades, with blacks being the ones disenfranchised, and MLK pushed for blacks to vote and died in the process.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't think, Alvin, a lot of people today understand the sacrifices that were made just back in the 50s and the 60s. Just to give us this opportunity to have the discussion and even realize that we have the right to actually choose who we should vote for without being compelled, without being intimidated. You know, all of that I think young people today take for granted, and some old people. But I don't get these black men. I don't specifically black men, but there's a lot of white men too, because a lot of the Trump supporters are mostly men. He's got like a 76%.
Right. He's got an edge on men. She's got an edge on women, but
that makes sense because he's a chauvinistic freak.
Right.
Narcissistic chauvinistic freak.
And going back to your point about voting and all that, you know, I always bring this up because I think people just need to realize it, and I beat a dead horse with this, but the United States, when it was formed in 1776, was the first democracy that have appeared on earth since the biblical times. Let that sink in. There was no democracy before the United States until you go back to biblical times. And when I say biblical times, I mean Rome was a democracy before Julius Caesar came and took over as the first emperor. That is before the birth of Christ. So let that sink in. 44 BC.
You're going to give us a history lesson?
I repeat that as often as I can because people can't take democracy for granted.
Congratulations, Stephanie, for voting. Okay, so Paul, so let's tell me, do you have the banner up where we can tell people where to early vote? Because early voting started today. As scary as it sounds, on Halloween, it started today, and it goes until November the 2nd. So October 31st, November the 1st, and November the 2nd. It's just 3 days of early voting, and they call that no excuse early voting, which means if it's convenient for you, you can go and vote. And there are a number of places that you can go vote if you're here in Jefferson County, if you're here in Kentucky. They have them all on the Kentucky Secretary of State's website. And you really ought to check that out. I think early voting is a good idea because you don't have to handle what business you need to handle on Tuesday, which is a regular recurring thing that you may have to handle, that you may have to do on Tuesday, and then find yourself like, wow, I'm not sure.
Where do I go?
Where do I go and all of that. So you may want to just check the Secretary of State's website. It's
I got it up here. If you want.
Yeah, let me. Paul says he has it.
I think I know.
I don't know. Let me see how we get you up here, Paul. There's just so much.
Just want to help.
Anyway, how about that?
All right, so this is the website. They can hear me, right?
Yep.
This is the website. It's the Secretary of State. You go in here, you type in your address, and it pops up and it tells you where to go vote. And then it not only tells you where to go vote, it'll give you a sample ballot of what's going to be on your ballot. So that is, for people who I don't know where to vote, go to the secretary. I mean, most people got iPhones or whatever. You can find this website, but at the top it says Jefferson. What does it say? JeffersonCountyClerk.org. Go there, go to Find My Precinct, and it'll pop right up. It should be no problem. Okay.
Right. What is that? I'm not sure what that is.
That was different stat.
It was before.
That's
a different one too.
All right, one more. This one right here.
I don't know. Let's see if we can get you there.
Previous screen. Original.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello, Paul. Anyway, you have it. Go ahead and talk about it. So here's the ballot.
So again, this is a ballot in Carl's district. It's pretty self-explanatory when it goes down to voting. I'm not gonna go over who the candidates are. We all know who the candidates are.
Well, hold on. I don't know who the candidates are. Let's
come
go
on
back
now.
a second. No, I'm serious. I haven't looked at this ballot yet.
Okay, Donald Trump, Kamala Harris.
Well, we know that.
Okay, and then you've got the representatives for your district, and then the rest of these are unopposed now.
So hold on. Let's go and talk about. Can we talk about the judgeships? Why don't you explain to them what the family court judge
there's three people running for
judges.
judges.
3 people running for family
That's
court
only
judge,
judicial ballot.
Laura Russell, who's been there before, Zach McKee, and Allison Spencer Russell.
So there's 2 ladies named Russell.
And one man. And
Laura Russell is the one who's been a judge before.
Yeah. And so you have an opportunity to change the trajectory of family court once again.
That seat is vacant.
It's vacant. It's a vacant seat. But I'm just saying that there are 2 white females. There's 1 black male running in this race, but he's the only male, and that's kind of a curse in Jefferson County, right?
I don't know.
You don't know if it's a curse in Jefferson County? Okay. Well, what else do you have for us, Paul?
All right. So on the ballot, obviously, we were getting to Amendment 1 and 2. Okay. Amendment 1 deals with an amendment to the Constitution of Kentucky to disqualify non-citizens from voting. This is the one I think is unnecessary. It's already illegal for non-citizens to vote. why do we need to even change our constitution?
Okay, raise that up. So roll that up some so we can see it on the screen.
All right, go ahead and read all that.
That's amendment number 1.
Yeah, it's just number 1. Look how long.
No,
it is.
what is number 1? Is number 1 about abortion? What is number 1 about?
No. Number 1
is
because
I don't know, y'all. And
okay, you haven't seen it yet. Okay, number 1 is about whether or not illegal citizens should be able to vote. Now, could they have asked that question in a shorter phrase? Of course. But the way they word it is, as you can read it, Carl. And this is boring stuff,
says,
y'all.
Are you in favor of amendment section? And understand that these amendments are written in a way to trick you as well. Are you in favor of amending sections 145 and 155 of the Constitution to prohibit persons who are not citizens of the United States from being allowed to vote in the Commonwealth of Kentucky? That's already the law.
It's already the law.
It's already the law. Why? Oh my God, that is so crazy.
Yeah, so it's already law.
Okay, and then you've got which one?
The second, we'll talk about. Let's talk about this one first.
Okay.
All right. Let's back out and talk with the comments.
Okay. So
the first one is, like I said, it's a long read, but basically it's saying, are you in favor of amending the Constitution to prohibit non-citizens from voting? If you put yes, then you're going to amend the Constitution. It's going to be in our Constitution. If you put no, we're not going to amend our Constitution. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, it doesn't amount to anything because it's already illegal. It's already illegal. I'm trying not to be that nerd, but I can't help it. Monique, I can't help it.
Monique, we just saw this. Professor Mullins, your history lesson.
Try not to be. I try not to preach.
I mean, they're on you, Paul.
I know. It's okay.
Even Stephanie said,
it's okay. It's my whole life. All right. So, what do you think?
Voting as blacks and getting votes as a black candidate has been equally challenging. Obama and now Harris have been ostracized as black candidates running for the presidency.
Yeah, but the difference is Obama won like 300 electoral college votes. He did his work, and he didn't have a great candidate. He didn't have a Trump to run against. I'm not saying he would have lost to Trump, but John McCain and who was the other guy?
Can we vote
Romney?
for you?
Romney?
Can y'all vote for me? Can you vote? Yeah, you can vote for me.
You can vote for Carl. Just put it as a write-in.
Yeah, put me as a write-in.
He's probably not gonna win.
I'm probably not gonna win, but you'll be surprised. I mean, some people write in Daffy Duck.
Well, I hate the fact that in Kentucky, as badly as I want to vote, I'm really not motivated. I'm really not motivated. I'm gonna vote, Carl. Don't let me, say this and make you think I'm not gonna vote. But am I motivated to vote? Because at the end of the day, I already know Kentucky's going to be a red state, and don't let that deter you from getting out and voting, guys. I mean, I'm telling you, I know that some people are like, I know that it's like, you might feel like, well, my vote doesn't matter. Just go out and vote. You never know what's going to happen. Kentucky has been won by a Democrat, so you never know.
So Monique, you're asking the question, Amendment 1, non-citizens can't vote, yes or no. I mean, it's non-citizens cannot vote now anyway. So you can really, you can skip that, except there might be some other language in there that they're slipping in, like
right.
they do bills
like 60 days before. Okay, so go back to that if you don't mind. Let's show the language, because I haven't read the old constitutional rule that they're proposing
Every
to
citizen
me.
18 years of old to vote. We know that persons convicted in any court of competent treason
We know
or
that.
felony or bribery in an election or such as.
So the only thing that I think could be different.
Whoa! This might be different.
No, you
Because
can't.
hold on, listen. Felons cannot.
Right.
As an exclusion from the right of such, but persons hereby excluded may be restored to. Okay,
Right.
no, that's
Right.
the same. That's already
All
the law
that's the
anyway.
same, right?
Person who at the time of the election are in confinement under the judgment of a court for some penal offense. Whoa, that's people on probation.
Confinement. In confinement.
Persons who at the time of the election
jail.
are in jail under the judgment of a court for some penal offense.
So
does that mean
you can't vote?
misdemeanors?
You can't vote if you're in jail. You can't vote if you're in jail for a misdemeanor. You can't get out of jail to go vote.
No, but what if you're on home incarceration? You're in jail on home
I didn't think about
incarceration.
that.
I mean, are they saying misdemeanors can't?
But that
people with
might already be the law.
certain
I mean,
time for
I
misdemeanors?
probably needed to pull up the old law. But for me personally, I'm just gonna type no. Whatever the law is, I ain't educated enough to know, and I'm a lawyer, to know exactly how it's changed. I could easily look up the Kentucky Constitution, but I'm not gonna do it because I already know if you're a non-citizen, you can't vote anyway. So this is put in here by somebody for some purpose that we're unaware of. That's what I feel like. It's not necessary that
Look at
this
number 3.
3 idiot or insane people. Well, that's MAGA. I guess they can't vote. No, you know, this says that you got to live in the precinct for 60 days. That might already be the law. I'm not even gonna bother looking it up. To me, non-citizens can't vote anyway, so I'm just gonna.
The reason for Amendment 1 is because some states have made provisions that allow non-citizens to vote in local elections. It's still illegal for federal elections, but
it's not legal here
yeah,
anyway.
Yeah, John, but that's other states. So why do we need to reiterate that when that's not the case here?
Right.
I don't think illegals can vote. I don't think illegal immigrants can vote.
And they made it. I think they made an exception for school boards anyway.
There's some tapping. I don't know what tapping. I don't know what the tapping is.
When we touch this.
That's Paul, y'all.
Yeah, when I touch the iPad, they can hear it. It says, so it shall not apply to school boards. So is this saying that the sections shall not apply to the election of school trustees or other common school boards, which means if you're legal, I guess you can still vote for school board and stuff. Like, what difference does it make?
John, I don't want to be president. Monique, I don't want to be president.
No, sir.
Y'all can keep circling that
motion. Good people get destroyed running for national office.
Right. Okay. Hold on, y'all.
So Alvin says the South has always voted Republicans. That is not true, Alvin. It depends on how long always is. Carter was from the South. He got all the votes as Democrats in the South. That was 1976. I'm giving a history lesson again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think Paul can.
And Clinton got southern states. He didn't get all the South.
I don't think Paul can help giving a history lesson. The South has always voted Republicans. That's not true, Alvin.
Literally just said that.
Huh?
I literally just said that.
No, yeah, the Republicans have not always. Remember the Dixiecrats?
Well, it wasn't just the Dixiecrats. I mean, if you go all the way back to the 50s and 60s, I mean, the Republicans were the northern states. There's been a shift in the political ideologies of both parties. They pretty much switched. The progressives used to be the Republican Party, and people just aren't old enough to know this. Like, I didn't live that, but you can look back through history and see how the states voted, and you'd say, I can't believe Texas once voted Democrat. I can't believe California used to be Republican.
Yeah, Texas used to have a female governor who was a Democrat. So,
but what you can do is I got a site for you. You can go to a website called 270 to Win. All right, see if you can pull this up, Carl. Let me show them what they do.
Yes, no, you can pull it up there.
All right, well.
Oh, you mean you want that on the screen? So we need our producer back.
This website right here, it's called 270 to Win. You can go there on this website, and I think 538 is another website. Go to these websites, and you can go through them and get the history of the presidential election. And this one will go back to 2020. Some of them go all the way back to the very first presidential election. And you can see how the demographics of election cycles have changed, where Texas was once a blue state, Mississippi was a blue state, Alabama, Georgia, they were all blue states in the 70s. So that's me touching that. That's I'm changing the colors on them.
Oh, you're changing the colors. You're able to do that?
I'm able to do that. It's an interactive map if you want to play with it yourself.
So what do you do with it?
So if you say Kamala Harris wins Arizona, you turn it blue. Keep tapping until it turns blue. Or it's red. Okay. So if you wanted to say she won that state and Nevada and she won.
Okay, so realistically, she'll win Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada. So
so you're counting. Yeah, I was gonna say you're counting Nevada. So if she wins,
so let's say if she wins all the Western states. So let's just put that.
Well, it's already red. Sorry.
No.
Red. It should be blue. Yes. She's not gonna. But you're counting. No, I got it. You're counting Arizona and Nevada as her wins, but they barely gives her 270.
Okay, and I just. But that would give her talk about New Mexico.
I'm sorry, that's the wrong year. Are we in 2000? No, you're doing the wrong year.
No, it's 24 president election interactive map.
Right, we had it on 2020. Just
okay.
So this
in any case, Colorado, she'll get Colorado. Okay, so she's at 238. He's at 122. Even
she's
with
at
Kentucky,
she's at 268 without Pennsylvania. She's at
Okay,
the
yeah,
top.
268. And so,
So
all
she has
needs
to
is
win. She has to win Pennsylvania.
So if she wins Georgia,
Come on now. That's a big if.
it's not a big if. Georgia's not a big if. I think South Carolina, she won't. You're probably in Florida, Texas. I mean, we got to give him.
Just give her the whole country, Carl.
No, I can't give her the whole country. Well, would you be surprised if she did win by a landslide?
She's not going to win Texas, though.
Well, I mean, everybody.
I mean, you
says
never
that.
know. You know what?
Everybody.
You
says
never
that.
know. Because in 2016, they thought Hillary was going to take them all, and she didn't. So you just never know. That's why you got to go out and vote. Even though I don't think my state is going to turn blue, and even though I'm like, do I really want to get up extra early to go vote? I'm going to vote.
Renee, let me answer your question while Paul is talking. No, brown is actually my favorite color. That's the color of my college fraternity. But I just happen, as a lawyer, we wear more blue on average than more blue suits on average. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Blue and gray.
So blue is not really my favorite color, but in the
All right,
courtroom
the tapping
it is.
sound is still, they're still talking about
No,
tapping.
you're not tapping it.
But that's that one, too.
Oh, maybe that's what that is. Okay, y'all, I'm going to make some changes here. How about that? Because it very well might be me tapping. Let me have this.
Yeah, that can be annoying if you've got iPods in.
Okay, there we go. Yes, that is true, Professor Paul. Many African Americans were Republicans. Yep. That's interesting. Tell me, y'all can give it a minute or two and tell me if y'all still hear the tapping sound. I think that we have gotten rid of it. Yes, it is, Paul. He's causing it. I think I said Paul was causing it. But maybe
it was
Paul,
Carl the whole time.
Paul, stop that tapping.
Right.
Sound,
Wasn't me.
please.
Wasn't me.
Paul, put that tablet in your lap. He says New York, too. She's not winning Georgia. Monique, you don't believe she'll win Georgia? I think she'll win Georgia this time. I
mean, you never know. It's one of those close states. Any of those states.
Look at what Monique said.
There's a whole country, Carl.
I don't know if y'all. I mean, don't be surprised if she wins by a landslide.
No,
like
we
a
would
big
be
landslide.
surprised if she won most of the
Renee.
states. We would be surprised. Even the people who want her to win.
Thank you, Renee.
I heard the tapping again, Carl. It wasn't me though.
I don't know. It must be something or somebody that we can't control.
Well, you say somebody. It's only two of us in this room.
Well, that's those. I mean, it could be a hacker. No, I'm serious. It could be a hacker. If it's not you, it's not me.
That's what they want. They want to hack this show at 9:00 at night on Thanksgiving. Halloween.
They have before.
All right. Yeah, that one time we was talking about the Israel.
Yeah, we did get that. Anyway, let's not bore the people.
So, Amendment 2.
Let's talk about Amendment 2 real quick.
It's even worse.
It's even worse?
Yes.
You ready? Why don't you put that in the center?
I can't really. Oh, I heard that tapping. It must be this thing too. All
no,
right.
the tapping is, I'm going to tell y'all what that is. You probably won't hear it now. The tapping is actually you all commenting.
Oh. Okay, every time they hit a comment, then it taps. Okay.
I'd definitely be surprised if she wins, especially by a landslide.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I won't be, Monique. I really won't be, because I think the conscience of this country is better than Donald Trump. I really do.
I hope so.
I know everybody says that they hope so and different things like that, but I think the conscience
Well, I've said
of
it on the
country is
show
really
a
better.
bunch of times, Carl. The disqualifiers for me, whether it's the same for other people, is January 6th and the whole election denying. Like, you can have politics that I don't like and you win, and I'm okay with that. You can have, all kinds of other issues going on in your administration, like people not liking you, and that I'm okay with that. But the minute you cross the line and you destroy the fabric of what makes America America, and that is the peaceful transfer of power, where you got other nations across the world looking at us as the leader of a democratic country, and we can't get it together.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
I just think that we give him so much of a pass. You guys have not addressed Trump's MSG rally featuring racial slurs was disturbing.
The comedian.
Yeah, I mean,
we talked about that, but by the time we talk about it, it's old news.
Yeah, but 500,000. But here's the good news, and here's the relevant news: 500,000 Puerto Ricans are in Pennsylvania. 500,000. Yeah. 500,000, 500,000.
And it's not an issue of, oops, this guy said this. and we need to shut him down. They knew what he was going to say before he said it because it was loaded into a teleprompter.
I think
so. Think about that. That means they okayed it. You can say I'm spinning it if you're Republican, say, oh, that's not true. But you can't tell me that you're going to let somebody get on a stage and say whatever they want, and you don't know what they're going to say in advance.
Well, to
and
his
they're
credit,
supporting you.
To Trump's credit, unusually for me,
he did denounce.
To his credit, no, he did not denounce it.
What did he say?
He didn't say anything. He said he didn't know the person. Didn't know
That's,
what they were saying.
No. That's what people who vote for Trump. That's what Trump does. As soon as somebody says something that he disagrees with, he doesn't go back and say that they're wrong. He suddenly doesn't know them. Cohen, who was his attorney? Oh, I don't know this guy. Really? He's been your fixer for years. All the people around him who suddenly do something that makes him look bad, I just don't know who they are. I don't know who they are. I don't know him. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You put him on the stage. You had some conversation with him. You let him be part of your campaign process. If you didn't know him and you didn't know what you say, what does that say about your leadership? Period. The buck stops here. Ain't that the phrase?
Yeah.
You ain't supposed to let people on the stage and you don't know what they're gonna say and just be like, "Oops, my bad."
Yeah, I didn't know what they were gonna say. But so let's talk about. First of all, let me just tell you, Stephanie, I'm gonna get a little personal here. I have had a rough day. I've actually had a rough week.
Yeah.
I wish we had the banner to show, but we had a family. We lost a family member this last Wednesday at 3:52. I remember that time because I was on my way out to the hospital when they called, and I got out there at about a little bit after 4. So I had just missed, but I did get a chance before they took his body away. But my oldest brother passed away. He was 72 years old. So it's been a rough week just trying to get things together, make sure everything is together, helping his kids out because they lost their mom about 3 years ago. So it's been kind of rough and, trying to run a law practice. So don't feel sorry for me. I'm a strong man. I'm actually numb to funerals sometimes, but grieving is hard. And so, so I look like I've had a rough day and I've had a rough week. And then I had all this stuff going on at my house. Things being fixed at my house. So anyway, I appreciate you recognizing that. Still look better than Paul. And that's all that matters. So anyway, so much of me on my personal stuff.
Almost cussed.
Don't cuss.
Almost. I caught myself.
Alvin said he was vetted to talk. So so listen. Right. Here's the thing about Donald Trump. Donald Trump, in my opinion, is just an idiot. I mean, he's just an idiot. That doesn't mean that everybody who votes for him or supports him is an idiot. But I get it that heat rises to the top. You know what I mean, Paul? So heat rises to the top. So everything that goes on the lower level, it gets up to the top. You're responsible for it because you're at the top. So he may not have known. I mean, I don't know. No. I'm not. You're not. It's not an excuse. I'm not justifying it. What I'm saying is that he is still responsible for the messaging
that comes out of his campaign. And the messaging coming out of your campaign says that Puerto Rico's a shithole. And it's something that he's already, it's some of this
island full of garbage.
And that's the type of stuff that he said in the past. Yeah. When he first took office in 2016, he didn't even know Puerto Rico was a part of the United States.
He went over and threw tiles.
He did not. I remember he didn't even realize they were United States citizens. So.
Yeah, hey, Alvin, I would tell you this, man. Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz, Oprah friends, support MAGA. Their true colors reared its ugly head. Yeah, I was surprised at Dr. Phil. I don't know what it is.
I wasn't surprised.
No, listen. Here's the thing, though, Paul. Here's what I'm going to get into now. I'm surprised that at the people that support Donald Trump. Now, that doesn't mean that they are necessarily bad people, but I'm surprised at what they see is the benefit, unless you really believe that he done
because what it boils down to is this, and I respect the fact that people can have their opinions, and if immigration is the most important thing to you, and the message is Kamala Harris screwed up immigration, it doesn't matter immigration, economy, or whatever the 3 top choices are for Trump. If you support those 3 things, you may be prone to say, I don't care what else has happened. I support the immigration policies of Donald Trump.
Right.
I don't
It's just
hate
one.
you. I don't hate you
Just
for
the
that.
one issue.
I don't.
Just a one issue voting.
Well, it might be one or
person.
two or three. It might be three issues, but whatever it is, you can vote for somebody that you support their policies. What I vehemently object to is somebody who doesn't, in my opinion, respect the rule of law, who doesn't value democracy, not only in our country, but across the world, and somebody who at least has the character to be president. And those trump, sorry for the play on words, any other thing that he might do. Was it a good thing for me personally when he lowered taxes? I had to say yes. Is it a good thing when immigration is down? I have to say yes. Is it a good thing when inflation is low? I have to say yes. So if you support Trump for those reasons, fine. I just think that everything he's done beyond that, in my opinion, not everything, but the things that he's done that's gotten me up in an uproar outweigh everything. And I recognize that somebody else might say, well, I don't care if he disrespects democracy. I don't care if he wants to put his political enemies in jail. I don't care if he it looks like a fool on the world stage. I only care about my taxes being low. I get that we can disagree like that, but I'm telling you that I hoped everybody felt like me, which is democracy first, because it is a fragile thing across the world.
Well, let me see. Out of your mouth, it's in their hearts. What is in their heart? Well, go back to Ivan's comment. It's in their hearts. What's in your heart will come out of your mouth. Feeling odds have hidden feelings regarding folks that are black. Let me just say this. I am confused sometimes as to how we can be so divided in our perceptions of what somebody has done and what somebody hasn't done while they were in office. And maybe, I said this to a trial lawyer because we as trial lawyers, we know this. It's called the reptilian theory. Mm-hmm. It's the reptilian part of the brain, and it's that part of the brain that is most vulnerable to fear. That's why politicians for many, many years who wanted to get elected would always say, crime is bad. Crime is always talked about, no matter, even if it's going down.
Even if there's no crime.
Even when there's no crime, they talk about crime because the ability to insert fear into the reptilian part of your brain will get you every time, and it gets a hold of you, and you really can't let go. And you can be as intelligent as you want to call yourself and not realize that you have been persuaded because your reptilian part of your brain has been taken.
It's like when you were a kid and you were afraid, you instinctively grabbed your parents or your mom or dad's arm. It's the same kind of mechanism. Now, I know that we're not all children, but they strike you with and it works. It's both sides really, but they'll hit you with something that resonates with you. And once it resonates with you, like the immigrants are bad, they're coming to take over our country, I'm losing all my jobs, and they're raping our women. Once that resonates with you and you start to believe it, then you're trapped in that reptilian brain.
Right, but really what Donald Trump has done, Donald Trump has just lied. And I talked on this show many times about the layers and layers and layers and layers of lying that is hard that our brains get exhausted trying to unravel it. So we just believe.
And it's not that you just believe it, you actually just forget about some of the stuff that has been so
you just take it as true.
Outrageous.
And so that's why sometimes it's hard for me to watch Fox News, Paul. I know sometimes you've watched it, but it's hard for me to watch anything on Fox because Fox puts the layers and layers and layers. And I'll give you an example, like when Bret Baier was interviewing Kamala Harris, a lot of his questions was packaged with lies. Mm-hmm. And she had to stop and say, even the video they showed was the wrong video. And he said, let me show you this video. And, it was the wrong video. So all I'm saying is that I don't know how we have become so far apart in our perceptions of what we see. But what I've seen about Donald Trump, I would just say this. Donald Trump did a horrible job when we were in office. Now, I'm going to break this down for you. When he was in office. I'm going to break this down for y'all. Anybody who believes this is just needs help. So I'm just going to say it like this. When you walk into a room, the colors of the light and the atmosphere that's a bad example. Let me just say it this way. When you come into office as president, It's not like you snap your finger and everything gets better, like the economy gets better. All of this. These things take time, right? Inflation is not going to go
overnight.
away.
It's not going to happen overnight.
All of this stuff takes time. So when Donald Trump, what y'all need to understand is this, whether y'all want to believe it or not, when Donald Trump took office, he came into office with Obama's economy that had been broken when Obama came in, and Obama fixed it. Now, you can believe that if you wish, okay? And you have to understand that the 4 years of Joe Biden, regardless of whether you believe that Joe Biden can come into office, snap his finger, and everything, it belongs to him, that's not true. Some of that was Trump's garbage.
Well,
whether you want to believe that or not. And some of the good things that Trump may have done, which in my opinion was very few, but he did the 20% tax for small business owners.
There was some good things, but every president has good and bad. But again, if those are your hot button issues, you're going to be prone to vote for that person. My hot button issue particularly was, I would have never voted for Trump, but my hot button issue is January 6th. January 6th was my hot button issue because we were within, I had a client come in my office, and because Trump told him this, he believed this crap, that one man had the power to change the entire vote of America, Mike Pence. If Mike Pence were Vivek Vivaswamy or whatever, Vivek or J.D. Vance, we wouldn't have Biden as president. Think about that. If J.D. Vance was vice president instead of Mike Pence, Trump would have remained in office through the crap that he pulled.
Right.
And that is not democracy. That is one person pulling the lever for 80 million people.
Well, I am hopeful. This is what I'm hopeful of, y'all. And we still need to talk about amendment number 2. But this is what I'm hopeful for. I'm hopeful that we come back to the center of reasoning.
Yes.
Okay?
And that's on both sides. Too far left is bad. Too far right is bad, is my opinion. Too far left, I'm going to get in trouble, Carl, because you know I say this. Too far left, in my opinion, is everybody doesn't have to use pronouns that certain people want you to use. I don't necessarily believe in using extra pronouns to describe people. I'm going to insult some people. That doesn't mean I'm right wing. That doesn't mean I'm some kind of Trump sycophant. I just personally don't believe in extra pronouns. And I can get ridiculed for it. That's my personal belief. But I don't think people should hate me or cancel me or anything like that. I just personally believe that. Just like some people personally believe that life begins at conception. That's just their personal belief. So I think people need to come back to the center and quit going too far right and too far left.
Yeah, I just think that, I don't know where it is, but I think that we need to come, I think we need to recognize that there are more people who want to do good in this country than want to do bad. And I believe Kamala Harris is going to win. Whether it's a landslide or not really doesn't matter, but we will prefer a landslide so there won't be any questions, but they'll still have questions, and they'll still challenge the result and different things like that. And then maybe we can get away from this. What I really want to say on this show, I can't say but I can give you a hint that we don't have to worry about a person who causes a ruckus if that person is not around, right? You get it? If you don't get it, just think about the bullet that missed. Anyway.
All right, Amendment 2?
Amendment number 2. Let's talk about Amendment number 2 so before we get out of here, y'all. Because this is the hot button issue for Kentucky. Amendment number 2. To give parents choices in educational opportunities for their children, are you in favor of enabling the General Assembly? That is giving them permission.
Our state tax money.
Yeah. To provide financial support. The way they provide financial support, they spend our tax dollars for the education costs of students in kindergarten through 12th. No limitation. That means Catholic school students, private school, other private schools, as well as public schools, who are outside the system of common public schools. It's private schools, y'all, by amending the Constitution of Kentucky as stated. Okay.
Basically what they're saying is, do you think it's okay to spend public money on private schools? And while you can argue that private schools are better education sources and all of that matter, public schools are public schools. Don't give the money to I personally don't think we should give money to private schools because by their very nature, they have private support. So if we start giving our money that should be going to the public schools to the private schools, imagine how much worse the public schools are going to be.
Right.
So,
right. I mean,
that's just my personal opinion, but that's the issue in that question. The rest of it says is pros that the new section read as follows, and that basically support for education of students outside the system of common schools. The General Assembly may exercise the authority by law to the Constitution notwithstanding. So.
Right. So.
Outside the common system.
I mean, but that's just another
schools.
way. I mean, it's another way. This thing is another way of saying we want to spend your tax dollars. And let me tell you, remember that year, Paul, I talked about my taxes, and I talked about how much money I paid in taxes. Not that I had the money, because I got it, because I recouped it the next year. But what I'm saying is that, can you imagine legislation amending the Constitution to give the General Assembly the authority to use public tax money, public tax dollars,
right,
to pay for private schools, which means that now let me just back up and say the way they're selling it is that poor kids can go to private schools as well. But we know that there's going to be a segregation wall that's going to be created over time because of that. But if you want to send your kid to private schools, why don't you pay for it out of your own damn pocket? That just makes sense to me.
Well, and what my bigger issue is we'll send kids to private schools with public money, but the school benefiting is obviously the private schools. So you'll have a system to where the public schools are no longer. I mean, who thinks the public schools are funded adequately now? All right, that's the big question. Are public schools so funded so well that we got extra money to give to private schools? That's your ultimate issue. Right now, everywhere I look, public schools are starving for money. So why are we taking money out of? I mean, are they going to? It's a ridiculous, in my opinion, ridiculous position.
Well, why do you say that it is so ridiculous though, Paul?
I mean, why? It's self-explanatory. Are public schools in good shape now? Common question. I think there's not one person who's going to argue that outside of Male and Manual and a few other choice high schools, that all the high schools are doing great. They're not. The public high schools need support. Really, the middle schools need it more than anything. And so, no, the public schools are not doing well, so why are you going to take funds that would otherwise be directed to a public school to a private school, even if it's $10,000? Why would you do it? It's ridiculous on its face. So you got to look at who's advocating for this, who wants this, right? They can mask it with this money is for your poor black kid to get into a private school. But is that just the poor black kid who happens to be, 6'5" and can run a 4.3 40? You know what I'm saying, Carl?
Right.
Or is that for every poor black kid?
Right. Right. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, y'all need to be voting no, okay, on Amendment 2, right?
Agreed. And again, think about this. How are they going to implement if the notion is that we're going to provide money to private schools with public money and we're going to send these impoverished kids to private schools? What kids do you think are going? I personally don't think it's going to be your average kid. I think it's going to be the athletic kids who otherwise couldn't afford to go to private school, who they're already providing a scholarship for. Oh, now we don't have to provide the 6'5" athlete who runs a 4.3 40 with a scholarship because he'll just get it through public money because he is in an impoverished neighborhood. Right. Stop it. I see right through it.
Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't. It's just so obvious, and just to think that we would have a situation where our legislatures are actually, okay, Stephanie, you're losing me. I can live, I can't live anymore. Whoa, okay.
What's going on?
I don't know what's going on. Remember, Paul said, the people who are on the board of these private schools,
children attend, right?
Politicians should, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
But people aren't people. It's the small group of people on this chat with us tonight. we're aware of this constitutional amendment, but some people are going to see that amendment for the first time going into the booth, and then they're just going to randomly pick yes or no, or they're going to think, oh yeah, that sounds okay. They're not going to give a whole lot of thought to it. It's just it's so rough how they can put these amendments on there without much public advertisement for it.
Right, and that's really, I mean, that's what's really troubling.
And they make the question complicated. The question, Monique said it best. The question could be as simple as, do you support giving public funds to private schools? Like, it could have been that easy. But it's complicated. They make the question so complicated. And the way they phrase the question at the beginning makes it seem like you should vote for this. To give parent choices and educational opportunities for their children. Are you in favor of enabling the General Assembly to provide financial support for their education? I mean, it makes it sound like you're doing a good thing. It's that's the ridiculous part you asked about. That's ridiculous.
It's very deceptive. But these constitutional amendments, y'all should always say. But anyway, we're voting no. We should always vote no.
Yeah.
On these amendments because they have this tricky language, and you notice how it started out, right?
Yes.
Which is pretty crazy.
So anyway, happy Halloween, ladies. I hope y'all got all the treats you wanted.
Yeah, I want y'all to stay where y'all are. Keep talking to him, Paul. I'm going to.
Where are you going?
No, I'm not going anywhere. But we're gonna put something else up here. Just kind of some political stuff.
Another commercial?
No, not necessarily another commercial. Let's see if we can.
I'm voting no for both amendments. Okay? I'm not saying that I think illegals should vote, but it's already a law, and I don't need a long 5-paragraph statement to basically support the law that's already there. I think that Amendment 1 was put out there just to bring out the immigration inspired voters. I don't think it's necessary. Somebody tell me why it's necessary to vote for something that's already a law. It doesn't make sense. Is that what you're going to put up, Michael Jordan?
No, I was going to put up something else, but
Mike's looking old nowadays.
Yeah. Okay, but what I am gonna put up, let me see if I can I'm gonna put this up.
The hippie to the hip.
All right.
Anyway, no, hold on, Paul. I need to put this up if I can find it. Because I want y'all to hear this as we go. Oh God, what are they talking about?
What?
Ladies,
look, nice.
This is that. I'm glad you brought that up. Did you see that?
What?
Dwayne Wade statue that was unveiled outside of the Miami Heat Stadium.
No.
It looked nothing like it.
Oh.
Isn't that a horrible thing?
I didn't see it.
Oh my God! Let me just pull it up there, man. Dwayne Wade. But anyway, it's a horrible thing because Dwayne. How do you wait for like 18 months for this statue to be constructed and it looks nothing like it? I mean, like literally, this statue looked nothing like Dwayne Wade. And it did look old. But apparently...
Was it an old version of him or was it...
No celebration of Halloween. This show is more intriguing. There are enough people in politics wearing masks and costumes.
That's right. It's quote of the night right there. You are so right,
Monique.
Quote of the night.
Tory is doing okay. He's trying to get out of the subpoena that he was subpoenaed for last week. Thanks for asking, Monique. He's doing okay. I mean,
that does not look like him.
Put it up.
It looks more like Charles Barkley.
Put it up, and we
hold on. I got. It's a YouTube, so.
Well, we don't want to hear something nobody talk about it.
All right, hold on. All right.
No, just put the picture up.
I'm trying.
So we're gonna. Paul is trying to get the picture. While Paul is trying to get the picture, we're gonna put y'all on a different screen. While Paul is trying to get that picture, I'm trying to give y'all something that is really It's going to be fun to watch here, and I want y'all to. While Paul is doing that,
I got it. It's right here.
This. Check this.
I said the hip hop, the hippie to the hippie to the hip hip hop, and we don't stop rock to the bang bang boogie. Say up drum the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie the beats. Now what you hear is not a test. I'm rapping to the beats, and me the groove, and my friends are going to try to move your feet. See, I'm notorious OAP, and I'd like to say hello to the black, to the white, to the red, to the brown, to the purple and yellow. First we got bang bang the boogie to the boogie. Say up jump boogie to the bang bang boogie. Let's rock. You don't stop. Rock the rhythm, make your body rock. Hotel, gonna do it today. Everybody go hotel, motel, holiday inn. Now I'm feeling the highs and feeling the lows. The beat starts getting into your toes. Start popping your
Colin, what's
fingers.
wrong? I don't think it's sick.
Anyway, here's the statue, y'all, we were talking about. That looks nothing like Dwayne Wade at all.
I wish I had a better angle, but I agree.
That's okay. That looks nothing like Dwayne Wade.
I don't know who that is. It's like they wasn't even looking at him when they was making the sculpture.
No, bring it back down. That looks nothing like Dwayne Wade.
I'm trying to find a better angle.
No, I mean, that's okay. But anyway, y'all. Anyway, listen, I'm going to give y'all out.
There it is. That's a better one. That's what it looks like. Put this up.
Oh, you want that one?
Look like Larry Fishburne.
Yeah. That looks nothing like. I think the sculptor was a little inebriated when he did this, because there is absolutely no way that looks like Dwayne Wade. And I agree. I think Alvin said that. Dwayne Wade is a nice. He's a nice looking man. He doesn't look like that. And I'm not saying that's a bad looking statue, but that's
looks
not
like Morpheus. That's what they say.
Huh?
Look like Morpheus.
Well, he played like he was Morpheus. Don't you agree?
And he's all right.
Anyway, Paul, we have to get out of here. Hey, people, listen, we're going to show some of these comments, and we're going to get out of here. And some of them are pretty funny. And Stephanie, hey, any update on Torian Murphy? We gave you that.
Skip.
You want me to skip that?
Yeah, skip
Why don't
that
we just go through them fast? Thank you for the update. You're welcome. Lake, Carl, where can I meet you, baby?
Church.
Yeah, church. Not Charles Barkley. Yeah. I want to meet you in person so I can give you a hug. I appreciate that, but I'll be
just
okay.
Just a hug.
Paul isn't dry. He's just has low tolerance for nonsense.
There you go. That's true. 100%.
Renee is gone, so you can talk to me, sweetheart.
Who's
Paul
feuding?
Dry for real, girl.
Who's feuding?
I don't know. I guess a non-ethnic artist created the statue.
Yeah.
Probably. Paul laughs. He laughs.
Hey, ladies, let me just say this.
That's perfect.
On the future
example.
shows, please don't argue among each other. It's like, I thought they was calling each other names.
Harris 330, Trump 260, Harris wins.
330.
Is that your prediction, Alvin?
Is that possible? 330
Of course
260?
it's possible.
I mean,
that's a landslide.
I'm just saying, what with the states on the map, is that a possible number? 330?
I mean, I guess it is.
I don't know. You can go back to the interactive map. Did you do that on the map, Alvin? He said it is. Okay. He said it's doable.
He says it's doable?
Yeah.
What is that? He did it
went
on
to the map,
on the interactive map?
Yeah. Settle down, Paul. Is it still coming in? Oh, he didn't do it. Wait, I thought you did do it on the interactive map. You're missing comments here.
Okay, go ahead. Just put those comments up there. Here's what I want people to see, though, Paul. So I want y'all to check this out.
Is this another video?
This is another video.
I'm out of here.
Hold on.
Don't play the whole thing. Don't play the whole thing. They're leaving us. You played that one already. You're going out of order. Why don't you go in order?
Have you seen it?
Yes, you've shown it to me. It's not that good.
I like Bohemian Rhapsody.
I know, but it's not.
But just because I like a Bohemian Rhapsody,
Yeah, but she's forcing everybody to listen to this shit.
Okay. I believe he's a danger man. Anyway, y'all, we had to get out of here.
So you think? I know we got to go, but you think that if he's elected, the country blows up?
No, I think we're okay in the country. I guess my biggest concern is that I don't want another pandemic. I don't want another pandemic, and I just don't believe he's qualified for the position.
Right. I don't want to exit NATO. I don't want to have him bound down to dictators.
Right. I don't want to do that. And I think anybody, listen, y'all, let me just make sure I'm clear on this. Narcissistic people are dangerous people, especially when they're in a leadership role. And I don't think Donald Trump has it to run the country. And I think that all of his lies have caught up with him.
I got a fan.
Anyway, y'all, listen. This has been Conscious Fever here on Nice Entertainment Television.
Good night.
Conscious Fever Radio.
Happy
Halloween.
Yeah.
And thank you all for the condolences. I saw it. We'll be okay. The services are this weekend. And all of his 7 brothers are going to be pallbearers.
He will seek revenge on his opponents.
You said what?
Seek revenge on his opponents.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what he's going to do. Yeah, I mean, covert. I agree with you, Monique. The narcissistic people. I mean, the covert narcissistic people are the worst. I mean, anyway, I have stopped listening to memes, listening to commercials. I turn the news off when they talk about, or they're at his rallies and different things like that, because I think that he's driven by all of that attention. He don't give a damn about the country. And so I don't, listen, I'm not going to bash people who are voting for him. What I am going to say is this, is that we live in 2 different worlds. Mm-hmm. And it's unfortunate that we live in 2 different worlds. There used to be a time where, it's Saturday, there used to be a time where we really, really cared about, people really cared about this country. I wave an American flag outside of my home, and I wave it for a reason, because I'm an American. I believe in America. I want to live here the rest of my life. However, there are people who call themselves patriots who are not. So anyway, Paul, thank you for joining me tonight. People, we are going to get out of here.
Go vote. Vote early and often.
Please vote. Please,
as many times as you can.
And we will hopefully see you all next week.
You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by
I was born by the river in a little tent. Like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh yes it is. I say, brother, help me please. But he wind up knocking me back down on the knee. Oh, there've been times that I thought I couldn't last for long. But now I think I'm able, Father, to carry on. And it's been a long time coming, but I know change